that's why, as far as yoga goes, it's pretty much kept on the surface too. Hatha yoga, all the yoga studios, and just keep people right there. Make them think, oh, you're doing yoga, it's going to improve your life. But you never let them go past that. And they don't want to go past it because you've created a culture and a consciousness that doesn't want to go deeper. So it's all, it's all connected. It's all tied up together. But if you got something really to take people deeper, then the powers that be will try to prevent that.
There's a book that I was reading. It's called Deep Work. It's about, I don't know if you've heard about it, Cal Newport. It's more perhaps related to work, but kind of a lot of those things apply, I think, especially in our spiritual life, but in our life in general, where the argument is that society today is so incredibly distracted, and its distraction is promoted in every area of society. You're like, all this with social media and having the cell phone in your hands, and it's just, society is made in such a way so it's very, very hard, and we're kind of trained not to, our minds are trained not to be able to sit down and focus on a specific task or go deeper or contemplate or reflect, but we're just constantly bombarded by distractions here and there, so we're never able to go deeper. We're just stuck in this, where we are. We can't really make the change because we're so distracted. And for our meditation, I mean, that's one of the things we learn, that of course, the more focused you are, the better it will be. And of course, it helps then if you can train your mind to in other areas as well, to be able to focus and not multitask all the time and just be on a shallow level. So his argument is that society is keeping us very, very shallow, and society is, it's so important for every part of life to be able to go deep in today's society and in general in life. I mean, so yeah,
I agree 100%.
And
it brings me, just immediately came to my mind that on last Sunday we went on a hike with new people.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga meditation hike in the mountains, and it was a significant hike, and about, I don't remember, halfway up or somewhere. I mean, it was out of the beginning part where the trailhead and busy, and we were back where it was very few people, because the further you go, as you know, the less people they drop out. So there was a young guy in his obviously 20s or whatever, and he's sitting there in a very nice place, beautiful views and quiet and so on, and he's not looking at anything but his phone. He was still close in enough that he had reception, and he was just on his phone. And I went by and I said, "You seeing anything interesting there?" And he didn't care nothing about the nature, the whole experience, whatever was available. It was just like the phone.
Oh.
And probably he stopped there because after that,
that was the last place where he had reception.
I don't know that. I'm just throwing that in. But anyway, that's how it is.
Yeah.
People can't see anything deep or significant, or go below the shallowness of the surface.
Yeah.
And that comparison of shallow and deep, and you do know about rivers or lakes or water, oceans or whatever, wherever there's shallow water, there's turbulence.
Yeah.
And where there's deep water, there's calmness and still and placid water.
Yeah.
And so all this is keeping everybody on the disturbed, agitated, rough water, the turbulent aspect of life, and nobody can go down to the deep where it's calm and peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, you're stuck on the surface there, or like you say, it's just...
Yeah, and you're subjected to every little thing that comes along. Surface water, I mean, every little gust of wind blows it around, and you got little agitated ripples and so on like that. If there's any current coming in, that's going to be most obvious in the shallow water, and it's just like that in life.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Just all that came to my mind, just like as soon as you said it. So, and that tsunami that went through Indonesia area in 2007 or whatever, 2008, 6 or 7, 8, and just wreaked havoc in Thailand and Sumatra and those areas over there. And I read that there was 2 divers, and they were quite deep off the coast of Thailand somewhere in deep water. And when that tsunami came by them, all they felt was just a little doo-doo, just a little bump, and that was all. They didn't even know what it was, of course, and they were just thinking, wow, wonder what that was. And when it got past them into the shallow waters, it just destroyed everything. Killed people, destroyed houses and, trees and whatever it did.
Yeah.
So if you're deep, when all those little tsunamis in life come, you'll feel it. There'll be a little blip, a little something going on, but it won't just tear you apart like it does when you're on the shallow aspect of life.
But and it feels like it's almost a consort. It seems like it's almost they've made an effort to keep things shallow. Huh? No sound? Yeah.
Well, no, it was too loud.
Oh.
So that's perfect. So anyway, there's a reason they keep you there, because then they can control you more. You're controlled by them.
Yeah.
They can manipulate the turbulence. They can manipulate every aspect of the whole thing. And they've got you. They can offer you the problem. They can offer you the solution. And it all goes in their favor. Here's the turbulence. Oh, okay. Here's a very stable boat. If you buy this boat and you drive it like we tell you to drive it, then you can survive this turbulence.
Yeah.
We'll geoengineer the weather and create the droughts and sell you water.
There's kind of like an added solution that doesn't really solve the problem, and it just brings you further into their hands, under their control, and less under your own control, and following your true nature and your true calling, and what the true value of life is, the meaning of life is.
Yeah. That's why, as far as yoga goes, it's pretty much kept on the surface too. Hatha yoga, all the yoga studios, and just keep people right there. Make them think, oh, you're doing yoga, it's going to improve your life. But you never let them go past that. And they don't want to go past it because you've created a culture and a consciousness that doesn't want to go deeper. So it's all, it's all connected. It's all tied up together. But if you got something really to take people deeper, then the powers that be will try to prevent that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't control people if they go out of our grip.
No.
That's why religion is the first thing they attack when they want to control a population.
Yeah.
Because now they're, adherent to rules of God, and their strength is in God, and so they're too strong. So if we destroy, quote, religion, no matter what aspect of it you may look at,
Yeah.
which belief system or whatever,
Yeah.
then we've weakened them just by design.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to control an enemy, you weaken the enemy, and they're easy to control. But if they're strong, then you're going to have a lot harder time.
And that's just something that I never reflected on that before, but I see it now, and now that you mention it, it's just that without that faith in God, you're really weak. You really have no source of strength, and they can pull you whatever way they want, and you have no direction, because there's no, I mean, if you have a desire and a wish to please God, then you have, a certain way to do that, a certain path to follow, and certain, not rules, but, something that you follow. But if you just whatever, so then they've got you in their hands. So that's what they're doing to society. They're trying to take away, of course, because it makes people weak, you say.
And there's two categories of rule makers: God and everybody, and the other ones, the other side.
And the ones who want to control you.
So if they're following God's rules, you can't get them to follow your rules. They're going to see through your rules, or your rules are against God's rules, or the future of following your system is against my spiritual well-being and God's rules. See, but if you take God out of the picture, then you can do, you are the rule maker.
Yeah.
And you can make a contradictory set of rules. And so you got them both ways. Follow this rule, and then you got contradictory rules to take them. It just keeps everybody into shallow water and into turbulence, the washing machine of life. Pretty picture, eh? We always come to beautiful pictures.
Like the washing machine of life, stuck in there. And
it's something that a person who hasn't experienced this can't really relate to, is the inner spiritual strength that comes from, your connection with the Lord. I mean, there's actually some strength there that you can't see, from the outside. Nobody can experience it, but it's there, and they can't connect with that real strength, but they know it comes from somehow religion, so get rid of that. They're too strong.
Yeah, and it's interesting if you see the big innovations that have been made, just to kind of bring it a little bit back to this focused attention and the importance of that. Most of the important innovations has been made by people who just like are able to disconnect from society, and like, for example, they spend a week with no cell phone, no anything, just like thinking really, really deeply about something, going really deep and into their own little world, so to speak. And this in this book he's speaking about, and he doesn't. I bet he doesn't know a lot about yoga lifestyle, but he mentions how important it is with routines in our life and daily routines, so that we don't have to rely on will strength all the time, but we leave time in our day for deep work and for thinking deeply, and which leaves a maximum time of like 3-4 hours per day maximum your brain can tolerate to focus on something deeper like that. But it's yeah. And so he says, so a certain time you do that, a certain time you go to bed, a certain time you go up, a certain time you stop working, so that you have your habit there. But the importance of having this, deep focused time in your day, so you're not just living in a distracted way and not getting anywhere in whatever you're doing. I mean, and you're trying to meditate, but at the same time you think about Mickey Mouse and your job and what you did yesterday and the food and the dinner and the wife and all the things, all the deadlines you have, and it's just mishmash.
Yeah, regulated schedule is certainly the yoga way. But as you say, during that regulated, incorporate a time for deep work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That be part of the regulation. Because a lot of people by default are somewhat regulated. They have to get up at a certain time because they got to go to work. And they have to work a certain number of hours before lunch. And the lunch is a regulated time period as well. You can't have but this long, 30 minutes or hour. So it's regulated by design or by default, but there's no deep work.
Mm.
And so
That's true.
the regulation needs to be incorporated with what you're talking about, or what this author's talking about.
Mm.
And then, I mean, like, go for a walk. A person may build in a time to walk, let's say.
Mm.
But instead of walking with your phone in your hand, checking your Instagram or whatever you're doing, or just frivolously going along, have some focus on something deeper, And
just like we do our walking meditations with japa meditation.
Yeah, we walk, but we also focus on the meditation as we walk.
Mm.
And that's really the main part of the walk.
Mm. Yeah.
And so you got to build your schedule properly, but then what do you do with what you built, How did you build it to get some result, like you're talking about?
Yeah.
Some deep result.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you I mean, there's a point that I was thinking about when reading this, and that's like you said about yoga and how it's keeping on a shallow level. Well, the point is that with yoga, it's great, but you need to know the goal. And the goal of physical yoga, as I understand it, at least one of the main goals, is for you to be able to focus your mind. So you're training your mind to be focused, and that will then spill over in the other aspects of your life, including your meditation, which is the point. So it's much easier to focus in your meditation when you have thus practiced, and like it's kind of like brain is kind of like a muscle that you need to exercise every day. And every time that your mind says, oh, it's too much now, I can't handle it, or I just want to get distracted, and I'll go to Facebook and check out Facebook, and you immediately go to your phone and check out Facebook. Then every time you do that, that's another practice of the mind where you're training the mind into that pattern, that every time, you're faced with a little bit of free time and I'm not an exception for this. At least a while ago, I was really bad at that. As soon as I walked out the car and into the store, I thought, I need to check, how about that and the business, and, how about this thing and this thing, many, many different projects on my mind. So I just immediately picked up the phone as I was walking into the store, and I was just looking back and thinking, what is that how life is supposed to be? Like 5 minutes free and you got to pick up your phone? How about just having some free time, having some rest, having this...
Yeah.
Exactly. We're very afraid of being bored. That's the guy writing this book also says that. He says, we're very afraid of just doing nothing, in a sense. Just, it's always got to be something, always got to be active.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's the way we've been raised, really. I mean, I wasn't raised like that, but you're influenced so strongly by, everything you associate with that you become like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you're old enough, like me, to have been raised differently than that, it's become like that.
Mm.
And so you see people in old bodies that had no connection with any of this, obviously, for years and years and years and years, but then they've become like that. And you see them on their phones as well. Some really old man or old woman that's, doing the same thing you're talking about,
Mm.
checking whatever they're checking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And
because they've been moved into that.
yeah. And I mean, I'm not. That's one of the reasons I think that people are so in anxiety, because that being connected all the time and multitasking all the time and thinking all the time about the next thing and not being able to relax, it's just this kind of subtle nervous system triggering all the time, like a what's that word I'm looking for in English? Like a subtle background noise that is just there all the time in your nervous system, and you're just constantly triggered.
Yeah.
Just
But the thing is, how many people are going to buy this guy's book? You know, just thinking reality.
no.
Because that's really not a popular topic.
Mm.
I mean, those who do read it and, you know, take it to heart, so to speak, will maybe change something. You know, but this line of thought is not promoted, and it's not popular, and it's not instant gratification.
No, exactly.
You know.
Exactly, which, I mean, there are so many points there, but that's another thing, you know, that's what we're looking for, instant gratification now, you know, results now. Well, meditation is the exact opposite. You can't expect to have the results now, but you may need to do your practice for a month, as we say to our new people that come to our classes, to experience fully, you know, experience at all the benefits.
You're right. You know, I read, you know, so many parents, unfortunately, now are, the phone is the babysitter
Yeah.
for the kid, for the little kids. I mean, little, from, I mean, from babyhood.
Yeah.
You know,
You just,
and I was reading that one of the things that's so attractive to a kid, a baby, or, you know, 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old, whatever, about a phone is if they touch anything, something happens.
mm-hmm.
Right? If they do, they don't know what they're doing, but if they do this, something happens. They do something, something happens. It's just like, and they're the controller. They punch something,
Yeah, I see
they
what you
do
mean.
it,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately the result of their movement comes to them.
Uh-huh.
And so that just puts them in that consciousness.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know, so if you start them at 6 months or whatever it is, you know, you can imagine it. And
Wow.
you can see it, not imagine anything. You can see it.
Wow. So true. You do this and instantly you want,
It's instant gratification.
I mean,
And of course, they got all these kids programs now, so you'd punch anything and some kitty comes up, you know, some cartoon, some funny thing.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what comes up because I'd never done it, but I can understand.
Which is just, I mean, everything is just so opposite to anything we're learning in the Vedic scriptures and the yoga teachings. I mean, how about not being attached to the fruits of your labor, just working without being attached to the results, but, you know, doing the work that you know you should do, and, you know, doing your duty. And that's just like, society is completely opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no such thing as, yeah.
Right. You know, we were reading, you were on the program, I'm sure, from the Harinama Chintamani about, you know, all the methods that used to work before don't work now.
Yeah.
Like the Vanashram system, for instance, following your duty, but the duty was outlined and prescribed by this Vanashram system, which, for those who don't know, in brief, is just the Vedic or yoga system for society. You know, society is structured according to this Vanashram system. But that doesn't work anymore. I mean, that's not a Veda. It's not even intact. You know. And another thing that was, you know, a part of the society was associating with saintly persons.
Yeah.
And gaining the wisdom and not only the wisdom, but the invisible, you know, spiritual purification from just being in their association.
Yeah.
But where do you find such saintly persons? And on, all the things that work in society to move society toward a spiritual goal, they're just not available in this Kali Yuga we live in now. And that's why the one thing that's been prescribed is the chanting of these mantras, the chanting of these transcendental sounds. You know, because all these other systems that worked in previous ages, they're just either not available, or they just don't have the strength or the potency to overcome the disease, so to speak, that the society is plagued by now.
Just like
so, the system is the chanting of the mantras, which does have the power and the strength and, you know, the magical influence, etc., etc. Yeah. So what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, just like being around spiritual persons or learning from them, or what you said in previous ages, that's wonderful. But there are so many charlatans today. It's so hard to know who to follow. So I was just going to make that remark. You know, it's very, very difficult to know.
So that's exactly what it said in the Harinama Chintamani. It's like, these saintly persons are not available, but in replace there's been these pseudo-spiritualists that just proliferated.
That they've put there to keep you shallow.
There you go. Yeah.
So
they're allowed to do their work.
Yeah, promoted to do their work because it.
Yeah. There. Wow. Yeah. So our message is real simple, isn't it? Just take these mantras that we're always, you know, talking about, and of course practicing ourselves and offering to others, and just use them in your quiet time or your free time or your deep time.
And when you have that deep time, then really make an effort as much as you can to shut out all the distractions. Give yourself that precious alone time, or time with you and Supreme, and focus on the mantras, and you know, all the other things, they can wait. And if your mind comes with a lot of suggestions, the best way there was this guy actually who wrote an article about, he had a method, he was a psychologist, that people with anxiety could use. You know, you have people that worry a lot, and he said, put off 50 minutes a day for worrying. So when your mind starts worrying, then you say to the mind, oh, at 6 o'clock today I'm going to worry, and then I'm going to have 50 minutes to worry, so just wait now. But at 6 o'clock, it's worry time. And so he had great success. People were, you know, suddenly it was 8 o'clock, and he was, oh, wow, shit, I haven't worried yet. I forgot to worry. But I can't do it until 6 tomorrow. Okay, 6 tomorrow, I'm going to worry.
Wow, so, that's great if people would do it.
Yeah.
All these things will, I mean, they're just obvious things that will work if you do it.
If you do it.
It's structured time, isn't it? It's structured time.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that, but I like that. Okay, 6 o'clock. Worry away. You got 15 minutes. Hurry up.
Quick worry.
Wow, I've been waiting all day for this.
Popcorn and
then you know, I can envision, of course I don't know from experience, but pretty soon that worry time's not going to be very attractive.
No, probably not.
Like, I don't want to go there, man. That's not a happy time. It's not a happy place. I want to. No. And so your anticipation is dwindling. You know, you're like, I'm not going to do that. That's cool. I like that.
Just remember. But yeah, so we can just maybe, I don't know if you want to add something else to this topic right now, else we can just have a kirtan and have a little shorter episode.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Have a little respite from describing the mysteries.
Yeah, you need both, right? You gotta have a little slap on the face to realize that shit, this is reality of things, you know, wake up a little bit, but then you need a solution as well. You need the positive.
Yeah.
Refill.
Yeah, one thing we try to do is point out things that aren't even considered to be problems, and as they are, you know.
Yeah.
We try to make it clear that what is normal or what is thing that you do or everybody's doing is actually a problem for you,
That's true.
the spirit soul. I mean, this is not going to, you know, be good for you.
Right.
And here's the solution.
Is that the
Huh?
Is that the end?
The end?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's a short one today, right?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But if you have people chanting with you, maybe that's the problem. But I'll chant.
Ready? He's got to adjust something. Okay, well, go Ranga Haribo. Oh, Ranga Haribo. Oh, Ranga Haribo. Oh, Ranga Haribo. Oh, Ranga Haribo. Gauranga Haribo. Gauranga Oh, Ranga Haribo. 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 Oh, Ranga Haribo, Haribo.
Haribo. Goranga.
Yeah, so just Goranga Haribo.
Simple to go deeper. That's very simple.
Yeah. You know, the thing about the mantras is they're deep automatically. Even if you don't go there, they go there.
Wow.
Yeah. They work on the deep level. So, yeah, because, you know, going deep for, I don't know, 99% of the population is just, you know, not going to happen, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why in this Kali Yuga, when those other things just don't work, they don't have the power, they're not suitable or convenient or practical, the mantras go deep.
Wow.
So
Cool. Thank you, Malakia.
we always are appreciative of anyone who's tuning us in. And I know people do every week. We get the numbers, and there's people
Yeah.
every week.
Yep.
And so, yeah, if you can incorporate just anything into your life that we present, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Malakia. Thank you for sharing it.
All right, Ruben, thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah. Be back next week.
Haribo to everybody there. As always.
Yeah.
See you next
See you
week.
next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Yep.
Haribo.
Haribo. Haribo.
Haribo.